All of us, of course, live within the bounds of our human experience, as they are limited and restricted by all the imperfections that we share. But here at the Eucharist, you and I come to encounter God, in whom there is no limit or restriction, and who only desires to fill us with his unlimited love. This reality of the encounter with God, of course, is for the most part an unseen one. And so faith is so important for us to look beyond what is seen and to appreciate and to know the unseen. We need to do this most importantly in times of great suffering and difficulty, not to allow what is seen to dominate us and tempt us to a kind of sorrow and angst. Instead, we need to remember that God is involved in all things. He is acting in every situation, no matter how bleak it might look to us. And he's acting to fill us with his presence and his peace. And the only way that you and I can experience the fullness of God's love and peace is in the way things are, not the way we would hope them to be or like them to be. And I think this is the insight of our readings today. The first reading, the Lord appears to Abraham in that most normal and ordinary type of an encounter that you and I have each day. Abraham responds, not with some remarkable expression, but simply greeting the men who come to him with hospitality and generosity. He prepares a meal for them. What is more ordinary and normal than this? And then we're told that Abraham receives that blessing from God, that wondrous gift that Sarah will have a child. And so this is a metaphor, if you will, or a symbol for all of us. This is the precise way that God wishes to encounter each of us in every event of our life. He is in all things, and he uses all things in all circumstances to share with us his joy and his peace. His presence is that constant, unseen reality that accompanies all that we see and engage. And of course, this is most dramatically seen in our gospel today. Now God appears not veiled in those presence of the men to Abraham, but as he truly is in the person of Jesus Christ. Martha and Mary welcome him. Martha prepares the meal. Mary is just sitting beside him, listening to him. But then here's where everything breaks down a bit. Martha gets anxious and frustrated. But we need to see that she is not upset because of the situation, but she's upset because she thinks the situation should be different than what it is. Somehow Mary is not acting properly. She does not accept her role. She doesn't accept and trust that what has been given to her is the best, without regards for what others might have. She complains, as we all too often do, succumbing to the temptation to want things our way. And of course, this happens most prevalent when we experience great suffering. St. Paul, in the first words of our second reading, says something absolutely remarkable. I rejoice in my sufferings. For your sake and in my flesh, I am filling up what is lacking in the afflictions of Christ on behalf of his body, the church. St. Paul sees with absolute clarity that unseen reality, that suffering unites us to Christ. It connects us to his suffering, which is the cause of our salvation. And so we are meant to see how all suffering is then Eucharistic. as it is connected to what we do here. We come here, hopefully with great awe and reverence and joy, to be united to Christ and to receive him in this indescribable gift of communion in him. Hopefully we experience that feeling of peace and consolation that comes with that union. But can't we then see that the experiences of each day and the sufferings of each day only perpetuate or give a lived context into the same communion? That when we suffer, he is uniting us to him. And this way we too fill up or complete this ongoing saving action of Christ. We have to always keep this in mind because it is so easy to forget it. We have to keep our focus on the unseen so that our personal and spiritual and emotional well-being won't be determined by the seen realities of what is going on around us, but that greater truth that God is always with us, no matter what is going on around us. And then we will readily give great gratitude to God in all things, accepting all that is, avoiding that agitation of Martha, and instead, like Mary, always rest in his peace, looking to him and listening to him to then know that consolation and calm that he alone can give.